So this is what it is. We can modify this mark V to print list of this nature, but getting out to Tibet in these days is not going to be easy. The components are small enough to travel by air. If you can get them to India, we will provide transport from there. And you want to hire 2 of our engineers. Okay, great. Yes, for the 3 months which the project should occupy. Those 1000 days they said. What source of electrical energy? 3 months they said. Yes, for the 3 months which the project should occupy. For 3 months they will be there. After that the computer will work on its own for the next 300 and whatever the balance days of the 1000 days are. What source of electrical energy do you have? A diesel generator providing 50 kilowatts at 110 volts. It was really installed to provide power for the motors driving the prayer wheels. Of course, echoed Dr. Wagner. Okay, I understand your problem. That we have a generator in Ladakh, in Tibet. Literally there is an electric problem, so they had a 50 kilowatt which was giving 110 volts of current, and it was running for these Tibetan temples or the monasteries have wheels of they were going around with the current. That's the current they were providing. So of course, said Dr. Wagner, the view from the parapet was enough to make one dizzy. But after 3 months at the monastery, George Henley was not impressed by the 2000-foot swoop into the abyss or the remote checkerboard of fields in the valley below. This, thought George, was the craziest thing ever happened to him. I guess George is one of the engineers now. Okay, so he is sitting on the parapet is the outer part of the balcony parapet. From your building a parapet comes out a balcony, so if you stand there you see from your house there's nothing underneath that. So a parapet is also like that on a hilly place in Tibet where you sit and you can see the right down plains. The plain land you can see from there. In checks you will see it, square parts, you think it's a checkerboard. It looks like that. So from my hostel also, when I used to see the lands down in Lucknow, we could see Lucknow from there, but we cannot see that this is Lucknow. Like a checker land, square everywhere. So it was like that in Lucknow. So which was very a problematic problem to understand. And the abyss is a deep pit with the gap from that place where you are till the lowland is called an abyss. The gap is a pit. You feel dizzy. Huge height. Tibet is very high. That was the craziest thing ever happened to George Henley. I guess he is the engineer. For weeks now, Mark V had been churning out acres of sheets covered with gibberish. Now here it says we can modify the Mark V to print lists of this nature. Mark 5 or Mark V. For weeks now, Mark V had been churning out acres of sheets covered with gibberish. Nonsensical things were happening. The testing. Mark V is a printer, I guess. Patiently, inexorably. Constantly, a printer keeps on printing or gives you information inexorably, relentlessly it's giving you without any action, without any meaning. Whatever you're typing in the computer, it's giving you out. The computer had been rearranging letters in all their possible combinations, exhausting each class before going on to the next. A computer, when you go on to Google, you see, you put one thing and keep on giving you links to it till you don't finish the links. One alphabet can also take you far away. Where it will take you, you don't know. Google is such a huge search engine. So computer at that time was also there for some word they have put, and it's keep on giving them until it's exhausting, till it's finishing. Constantly it's giving you the sounds and the names possible. As the sheets had emerged from the electromatic typewriters, the monks had carefully cut them and pasted them into enormous books. In another week, heaven be praised, they would have finished. They're thinking that so many names have come out. Now let's see, by another week's time we should finish. George heard the heavy wooden door slam in the wind as Chuck came out onto the parapet beside him. Wooden door closed at the back, so they were on a hilltop. And Chuck, another guy, must be another engineer who came out, and they were satisfied that so many names have come out that pasting it into books, we'll finish job and we'll go. Listen, George, said Chuck urgently. I have learned something that means trouble. What's wrong? Isn't the machine behaving? That was the worst contingency. If you know these typewriters, we call them inkjet printers. There's another printer of typewriters, which you have seen at the railway station. It goes, it types itself. No one is typing on it, so it gets that information. Inkjet printer, or it's another word I'm forgetting. So things can get bad. Electronic things, machine can get bad. So that was the only thing which was giving the info. Printout is coming out. The event that may occur, a possibility, that's the only thing will have problem. What is trouble means that machines are not working. That was the most contingency George could imagine. It might delay his return, that because of the machine fault, they must have brought parts, or they don't bring parts, again they have to wait. That which nothing could be more horrible. Staying back in that place, we don't like this place, nothing is there, electricity is not there, now what to do here? No, it's nothing like that. Chuck settled himself on the parapet, which was unusual because normally he was scared of the drop. He had this phobia of heights, Sometimes people don't like heights, they feel sick, they feel giddy. So I have just found out what all this is about. He's saying, no, this is not the problem. I have found out what's the actual problem. What do you mean? I thought we knew. Sure, we knew what the monks are trying to do, but we didn't know why. It's the craziest thing. Tell me something new, growled George. We know that they are wanting God's names, all the God's names as possible in the world. They are going to take out and print it and make a book. We knew that. This is the craziest thing. We know that. But anyways, come on, tell me, what's the actual thing? Tell me something new. We are getting bored with this. Well, they believe that when they have listed all his names, and they reckon that there are about 9 billion of them, God's purpose will have been achieved. The human race will have finished what it was created to do, and there won't be any point in carrying on. Then what do they expect us to do? Commit suicide? No, there is no need for that. When the list is completed, God steps in and simply winds things up. Bingo. Oh, I get it. When we finish our job, it will be the end of the world. Chuck gave a nervous little laugh. But I don't see that it makes the slightest difference to us. After all, we already knew that they were crazy. Yes, but don't you see what may happen when the list is complete and the last trump doesn't blow or whatever it is that they expect, we may get the blame. It's our machine they have been using. I don't like the situation one little bit. I see, said George slowly. You have got a point there. There are just two of us and hundreds of these monks. I like them. I'll be sorry for old head Lama when his life work backfires on him. But all the same, I wish I was somewhere else. We'll keep it till here. In the next class, I'll come and do the explanation. Okay? That's day after tomorrow. Again, I'll be coming to the class. So this is a very interesting story. I don't want to miss in explanation. So it's all about the computer and God. Can a computer find God's names or not? So let's go and check that out. Okay? So I'll mark it till here, and next class we'll do the explanation for this and we'll take care of it. So till then, be home, be safe, and take care of yourselves and be good, and take care of your parents as well, and respect them, and do whatever you want after your studies. Bye bye.